Hey everyone! So I thought I'd make one more quick video today about a few tips and tricks I have for all you first years. Um, One of my huge tips, and I'm sure you've probably heard this before, is about the bookstore. Now, buying your books for your classes can be really hectic and crazy, and you'll feel really overwhelmed because you'll notice the books cost a lot of money. And depending on the courses you're taking, the books will cost more. Like I know for those sort of bigger majors like psychology and stuff like that, the books can cost up to $300 each, which is a lot of money. It really, really is. So my suggestion would be, if you can, get a hold of your book list early, either email a professor or stuff like that. Try and buy your books in like an Amazon or a Chapters or something like that, because you can find that some of the books will cost less that way. Now, if you're not able to do this, I know that a lot of students can't do this because a lot of professors don't decide on the book list until last minute. My suggestion would be to be sort of like the first one in the bookstore and get your books used. Buy used books because they will cost less. Not a lot, mind you. I mean, you'll be saving, you can save sometimes like 10, 20, $30, which doesn't seem like a lot, but overall, if you buy all your used books, you can end up saving like 100, $200. So keep that in mind. If you can buy used, would be my suggestion. My other little tip, which is sort of contradictory, but I never bought my books early, and this is only because some professors, what they'll do is they will say stuff like, here's your book list, however, you don't really need to buy this book or this book because we're only going to use a few pages out of it. And in that case, try and find the book in the library and see if you can photocopy the pages. It'll cost way less. It'll cost you like $1. And I mean, it's one less book, right? And if you wanted to, you can go to extremes and do this for the whole textbook. I have done this with other people where we have bought the textbook together between 3 or 4 people and then just photocopied it for 4 people. And then that way, you split the cost and it really doesn't cost you that much at all. And who really cares? I mean, I know a lot of people like the textbooks and want to have a big repertoire of the books, but trust me, when you have to lug those puppies home, you don't want them anymore. Especially if you're not really that invested in the class. Like if it's an elective class, like not one going towards your major or your minor, it doesn't really matter. So I'd look into that. And if you can just get the books from the library, I would just suggest that as well. Keep in mind, though, that some professors will have the books on reserve, which means that you won't be able to take them out for more than a day. Sometimes it's even hours. So make sure you keep that in mind. Other than that, I would suggest, for Frosh Week, I would suggest going to every event, especially if you're a commuter. And this is because this is your one chance to really get to know your peers and the people that are going to be in your classes for the next few years. Now, I know it sounds ridiculous, but just making those friends and really reaching out will keep that kind of feeling of loneliness away. A lot of people get homesick the first few weeks, and this is the way to beat that. You need to meet people, and you need to get involved. And especially if you're a commuter, if you don't get involved, you'll feel really left out. Because the people in residence, you have all the people around you on your floor or your house that are kind of there all the time that you can kind of get to know whenever you want or at house events. But for commuters, Frosh Week is really your only time to get to know a large group of people at once. So just keep that in mind. Really just keep an open mind about stuff like that and just getting involved. Other than that, don't be afraid to do new stuff. Just because you're homesick or it's a new environment and you're a little scared, just don't be afraid. I mean, trust me, you'll regret it in the end if you don't do this stuff. First year is kind of an expensive year, just because you are trying everything. But once you've done it, you can say that you have done it and that you haven't missed out. That would be my suggestion for that. And for classes, If you've picked some classes you're not too sure about, just keep in mind that you can drop them. Alright, so don't think that you're stuck with them. You can always drop it and take something else if you feel like it. But just if you are thinking about dropping, keep the deadlines in mind, because if you don't, you're going to be losing money, which you don't want to do. So yeah, just make sure you know the deadlines would be my suggestion. The other thing is, if you are short on cash and you need a job, I would suggest trying to find a job on campus, especially if you're a student from out of the country. Because you won't be able to work anywhere else except on campus, and they do tend to favor people who don't have a SIN card sort of thing. So keep that in mind. They tend to hire around September, so just sort of apply everywhere. I mean, there's tons of options and stuff. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, I would suggest getting a job off campus. It's a great way to meet other people outside of school. So, and plus you can earn some extra cash. Just don't get a job that's going to take away from your schoolwork, because you will regret it, trust me. And other than that, if you are really still short on cash, try and look for as many bursaries as you can. And literally apply for all of them. The worst that's going to happen is they say no, or you just don't get a reply back. But the best option is that you get all this extra money, and you didn't have to do much for it. So that would be my suggestion for that. Yeah, I mean, first year's a great time. We'll probably end up gaining the freshman 15. But whatever, everybody does, so I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, keep an open mind about everything. You'll have lots of fun. It's a little bit stressful, but it's life-changing. I know everybody says high school's the best time of your life. They lied. It's university. So like I said, guys, if you have any more questions, let me know. Feel free to ask. I love answering them. See you guys.